Welcome in, everyone, to another edition of Behind the Arc Basketball. And here we are, the ACC title game tonight between the Florida State Seminoles and the Duke Blue Devils. Here we go. If you're new to the channel, feel free to hit that like button and the subscribe button down below. I do play-by-play and live reaction calls of college basketball games, and I'll be doing this throughout the rest of the conference tournament. This is the ACC title game right here. I'll be back tomorrow with the SEC title game at 1 p.m. Eastern time, and also the Big Ten title game at 3:30 p.m. Eastern time, and of course the March Madness tournaments less than a week away after that. But here we are tonight. Huge game in store for the title game of the ACC. The number 3 seeded Duke Blue Devils playing against the number 4 seeded Florida State Seminoles. And here we are. College basketball Saturday, one day before Selection Sunday. It all wraps up tomorrow, where we'll know what happens in the tournament here. So we'll see as we go along who gets in the bracket and who's left out into the NIT. We've had a couple of bubble stealers left and right throughout the past few games inside the conference tournament or so. But tonight, here we are. 2 teams inside the top 15 in the AP top 25 going at it in the ACC title game, the Duke Blue Devils and the Florida State Seminoles. So Duke coming back, Diane Williamson for the past 2 games inside the conference tournament. And what an impact Zion's had on the Duke Blue Devils for this squad. Zion had 29 points out of 36 minutes he played against Syracuse. They beat Syracuse 84-72 on Thursday. Zion had 14 rebounds, 5 steals, and he shot a perfect 13 for 13 from the field in that one as well. And also yesterday's game, one of the greatest games of the year against North Carolina, 74-73. Duke won that one as Zion had 31 points and 11 rebounds as they squeaked out the 1-point victory against North Carolina. So here we are tonight. We're about 7 to 8 minutes away from tip-off, so if you haven't done so already, hit the like button and the subscribe button down below. I do play-by-play and live reactions to college basketball games, and keep it here and stay in the know into the March Madness tournament. So the Duke Blue Devils is loaded, guys. Zion Williamson, basically top 5 in the conference in basically every single statistical category you can think of besides free throw shooting percentage. Right here, Zion ranked first in the conference in shooting percentage from the field. He's also second in the conference in points per game, right behind his teammate RJ Barrett, tied for 4th in the conference in blocks per game, and he's also tied for 2nd in the conference in steals per game as well. What an impact Zion makes on this entire Duke squad when he comes back to action. And yeah, the energy is just through the roof when he's in the lineup for Duke. Also in there, RJ Barrett right behind him as he leads the ACC in scoring as well. Points per game just above 23 points per game. RJ has had double-digit points in every single one of his games this season. And don't forget about Cam Reddish in the lineup as well. He has double-digit point games in 21 regular season games this season. He averages just above 14 points per game on the year. And I think the last time when Duke played against Florida State, it was Cam Reddish who knocked down the game-winning 3-point shot at the buzzer as Duke had the inbound with around 2 seconds left. They passed the ball to the right wing of the perimeter, and Cam Reddish was there to knock down the 3-point shot at the buzzer. Don't forget about the point guard for Duke as well, Trey Jones, as he's tied for the first in assists right now in the ACC as he averages just above 5 assists per game. So here we are, Duke against Florida State, coming to you very shortly here, as this is my channel Behind the Arc Basketball. Going to update you guys on some of the scores going on right now in college basketball. The Big East Tournament Final, Villanova is up against Seton Hall 66-59 with around 3:20 left to go in that game. At halftime, Buffalo in the MAC Final, beating Bowling Green by 1 point currently in that game at halftime, 39-38. For the games that finished out earlier, Tennessee came back as they were down against Kentucky, winning the final minutes. Tennessee pulling off the nail-biter, 82-78. Lamonte Turner with a huge 3-point shot from the top of the key to seal the deal for the Vols and put them in the SEC Finals tomorrow against Auburn. And, of course, I'll have that game covered for you guys at 1 p.m. Eastern time. Inside the Big Ten semifinals today, there were 2 games as Michigan State beat Wisconsin today 67-55. Cassius Winston led the Spartans 21 points, 2 rebounds, and 6 assists. They'll be playing their in-state rival, the Michigan Wolverines, tomorrow. Michigan crushing Minnesota today in that Big Ten semifinal matchup as it was 76-49. Hey, what's up? Thank you so much for joining me here back in the chat. Hopefully this will be a good game tonight. We've had a bunch of games in college basketball today. Yeah, I've been doing pretty good. Doing pretty well today. I watched a couple games go down. One of them was Houston against Memphis today inside the American Conference semifinals. Houston, right now, they look like one of my sleeper teams for the tournament. They were up against Memphis by like a good margin, around like 11 to 12 points. They were up around in the game throughout most of the time, but Memphis made a late comeback, cut the Houston lead down to 1 point within a minute remaining. It just was a little bit too late, too late for the Memphis Tigers at home today as Houston beat Memphis 61-58. Tennessee came back winning the final minutes and beat Kentucky 82-78. So Tennessee will play Auburn tomorrow in the SEC title game. I'll have that one covered for you guys. That'll be 1 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow night. But yeah, Tennessee was down throughout like the majority of that game. And then Lamonte Turner basically sealed it up. He hit a 3-point shot from the top of the key he hit the go-ahead 3-point shot for Tennessee to take the lead with, I think, like around 20 seconds left. Yeah, no problem. Thank you so much for joining me. So we have a bunch of games still in progress for later tonight. The Pac-12 championship game, the Oregon Ducks taking on the Washington Huskies as well. What's up? Thank you so much for joining me here back in the chat. Should be a good game tonight. Duke against Florida State will be tipping off in around 3 to 4 minutes or so, hopefully, in this game. If you haven't done so already, hit that like button down below and the subscribe button if you're new to the channel as well. So we have a bunch of college basketball games today. There was one that just wrapped up a few minutes ago. Utah State punching their ticket to the March Madness bracket. They won the Mountain West Conference Championship final against San Diego State today, 64-57. Hey, thank you so much, man. Great to have you back in the chat as well. Hopefully this will be a great game also. 64-57, Utah State beat San Diego State a few minutes ago. Kansas lost in the Big 12 title game around an hour ago against Iowa State as the Cyclones beat the Jayhawks 78-66. And another team punching their ticket into March Madness a few minutes ago as well. Prairie View A&M beat Texas Southern today in the SWAC final 92-86. So most likely Prairie View A&M, usually SWAC teams will get like a 16 seed or so. So most likely it'll be one of those low seeds or so in the tournament for Prairie View A&M. But here we are, Florida State and Duke almost ready for tip-off. This is actually my first game of the day here. I've been calling. I was at my girlfriend's house today. We watched some of the action. I unfortunately saw URI lose against St. Bonaventure today. But yeah, the Bonnies look dangerous right now. I think they're the 4 seed in the A10 tournament. But yeah, they're in the final tomorrow against St. Louis. St. Louis, I think, is the 6th seed as well. St. Louis beat number 2 seeded Davison today in the A10 semifinals. And then I also caught the ending of the Kentucky-Tennessee game. That was crazy. And then I watched the majority of the Houston against Memphis game. Houston beating Memphis. And the funny thing was that Memphis, the whole conference tournament for the American, was basically at Memphis's arena, and Houston beat them at their home arena. And the whole arena was basically Memphis Tigers fans too. Oh, yeah, the Bonnies look dangerous. If they win tomorrow in the A10 final, they look dangerous going into the March Madness tournament. I think they have like a non-conference record of 4-9 overall, but they were plagued with like a bunch of injuries when they started off the season and like non-conference players. So now they've got the full team together. They look like they could like upset somebody in the first round, possibly depending on the matchup. So we're getting close to tip-off here. If you're new to the channel, feel free to hit that like button and the subscribe button down below. I do play-by-play and live reactions of college basketball games, and I'll be doing this into the March Madness tournament. So Buffalo is currently at halftime right now, playing in the MAC final against Bowling Green. Buffalo has a 1-point lead, 39-38 currently against Bowling Green. Bowling Green is a top 5 team right now in all college basketball for rebounds per game. I know Duke coming into this game ranks second in all college basketball in rebounds per game, right behind North Carolina. But here we are at the tip-off circle, the ACC title game for the tip-off. And it looks like Florida State controls it. Yeah, top 5 for rebounds per game, I believe, was Bowling Green. And I think they were like number 1 offensive rebounds this season that they average per game. Here we are with as the left corner 3, no good by Florida State. So Florida State controlled the tip-off. It gets rebounded by Duke here. We just started with the action. The Blue Devils now with the ball. Top of the key with Trey Jones as they take it past the timeline. And they're passing around the perimeter. Top of the key, RJ Barrett. Scoreless here as this one just underway. Duke now with the ball. At the right elbow, Barrett kicks it back outside. And we got ourselves an offensive turnover there. Looks like a backcourt violation on that one. Hey, what's up, little man knows sports? Thank you so much for joining me back here. Yeah, I'll be covering the Michigan State game tomorrow as well. 3:30 p.m. Eastern time, I believe, 2:30 Central time. Florida State trying to go inside. No good on the shot. It couldn't go down. Rebounded here by Duke. Still scoreless as we're just underway with the first minute in this game. 19 minutes left to go before halftime. The ball into the hands of Trey Jones. Jones passes it right wing of the perimeter here, trying to dribble inside. They float up a shot and a huge block by Christ Kumaji, but they call it a goaltend on the play, and Duke gets the points. So if you're new to the channel, feel free to hit that like button down below and the subscribe button as well. I do play-by-play and live reaction videos of college basketball games. So that was a goaltend by Christ Kumaji of Florida State. So Duke's up 2-0. Florida State with the ball at the free throw circle. They try to alley-oop it over the top, and Zion was there to knock it down. Florida State does get the ball back. Terrence Mann takes that back outside. Top of the key shot. Phil Kofer. No good. Oh, the putback by the big man, Kumaji, 7'4". He's the senior from the country of Chad out in Africa as it's tied up at 2. Yeah, we'll see it. We'll see about tomorrow with Michigan. Michigan looks red hot right now, blowing out Iowa yesterday, and then today they just cruised over Minnesota. It wasn't even close. So right now, 2-2, 18 minutes left to go, trying to go inside, and the foul called, committed by Florida State, and Duke will be going to the line to shoot 2. So here's my first score update here in the chat with 18:01 left for you guys. We're just getting started in this game. Zion at the free throw line, as he was a perfect 3 for 3 yesterday at the free throw line, hits his first one. 3-2 Duke with 18:01 left to go in the first. Zion with his second shot here at the free throw line. Knocks that one down as well. Perfect 2 for 2 right now. 4-2 Duke with 18 minutes left to go before halftime. Florida State with an inbound. They take it past the timeline here, and they dribble towards that top of the key. Trent Forest passes it off. Left wing of the perimeter here for the Seminoles. MJ Walker passes it right wing, trying to dribble inside. They kick it back outside. They try to make the move in the lane. Huge block right there by Javin Delorier of Duke. Duke now with the ball. Trey Jones, alley-oop pass, and RJ Barrett slams it home. 6-2 right now. Duke up by 4. 17.5 left to go before halftime. If you're new to the channel, feel free to hit that like button down below and the subscribe button as well. Florida State with the ball, top of the key. They dribbling inside with it at the key now. Floats up a shot. Oh, what? Right there, they put it back up and in. It was short to the rim, but the big man slams it down. Trent Forest's shot A little short, but 7'4" Christ Kumaji puts it back in. 6-4. Duke right there. Trey Jones, no good on a 3-point shot from the top of the key. Rebounded here by Florida State. Florida State with the ball at the left elbow inside the 2-point perimeter. Passes it now. Spin move inside. They dish it back outside. Left corner 3. No good. Hits the top of the iron. Rebounded by Trey Jones here, Duke. Jones now with numbers. Passes it in. He tried to pass it inside to Delorier, but he turns it over as he goes out of bounds with it on the baseline. And we have 16:42 left to go in the first. Duke's up 6-4. I'm going to update you guys here with the score here once again. Florida State gets the ball back here in the inbound. 16.5 left to go in the first. They pass the timeline with Trent Forest. Passes it off left wing of the perimeter. Phil Kofer with the ball. Feeds it up over the top to Kumaji, and it's taken away. Batted down. Duke now with the ball. Trying to go inside is RJ. No good. Off the glass. Fight for the rebound. Florida State has it. Weaving in and out of defenders. Here they go. Trying to take it into the lane. Terrence Mann into the bucket. Right there. It looked like, might have got a piece of the net right there. Wow, it looked like, from my view, it went in the net, but wow, that was odd. 6-4 still the score. It got tipped out of bounds. I actually get the good cam this time, the press box, which is the regular cam that we have. So Florida State has the ball now. They're down by 2. They dribble towards that top of the key now. They try for the jumper in the key, and it goes off the top of the rim, and it goes in the net. Wow, so right there, the ball just stopped dead at the top of the rim, and it went down. Tied up at 6 here. 15:40 left to go in the first. Duke now with the ball. Zion at the left wing of the perimeter. Zion now dribbles top of the key, passes the ball inside to Delorier. Slams it down for Duke, up 8-6 right now with 15:25 left to go in the first. Florida State with the ball. They take it past the left side of the timeline. This is Trent Forest. Right wing of the perimeter, passes it over to the left wing now. Forest kicks it back out, right wing of that perimeter. He has the ball in his hands as Trent Forest dribbling towards the top of the key. Tries to pass the ball off, and it goes out of bounds. A turnover by Florida State with 15:08 left to go in the first, so Duke will have the ball when we get back from the TV timeout. First timeout here on the floor for a commercial break. Gonna update you guys with the score. Duke 8, Florida State 6. As you've been tuning in to Behind the Arc Basketball on YouTube. Like, share, subscribe to my videos if you're new to the channel as well. So 8-6 right now. We'll look at the box score, see what's going on, and gonna update you guys on a game going on with 16 seconds left. Villanova is up against Seton Hall, 73-72. 16 seconds left to go in the Big East title game. So that's what's going on right now in college basketball. We're going to look at the box score here, see the leading scores for both of these teams. So we have 4 players right now, all with 2 points for the Duke Blue Devils, chipping in. Javin Delorier, RJ Barrett, Cam Reddish, and Diane Williamson, all with 2 points right now for Duke. Delorier with 2 rebounds and 2 steals to go along to his profile in this game as well. For the Florida State Seminoles early on this TV timeout, 4 points leading the way, Christ Kumaji. He's 7'4", and he's the senior center from the African country of Chad right now. And right behind them, 2 points by MJ Walker of Florida State. Going to get you guys some of these game updates currently going on. Close one between Seton Hall and Villanova. 73 Villanova, 72 Seton Hall. We have 16 seconds left to go in that game inside the Big East final currently going on right now. I don't know. Sometimes I wear the green pullover too. I've always liked this jacket. It's pretty cool. Always like this. Sometimes I vary it up as well. But yeah, tomorrow when I stream, I'll put on something else for you guys. I always like to wear this though. It's pretty cool to have this on. But yeah, close game right now. Buffalo and Bowling Green, 45-43. Buffalo up by 2 with 18:20 left to go in that game. So many more games coming up later today. We also have the Big Sky Championship going on right now. Eastern Washington up against Montana 26-22. But since we're on commercial break with Duke against Florida State right now, the game to pay close attention to is the final score coming in shortly between Villanova and Seton Hall. We have 14 seconds left to go in the Big East tournament final. Villanova's up by 1, 73-72 in that game. Looks like Villanova has the ball too, because Anthony Nelson just committed a foul by Seton Hall. So Villanova has the ball in that game. Miles Powell with 25 points, leading the way for the Pirates. Sadiq Bey, 16 points, 10 rebounds. So we're going to get back to action very shortly here between Duke and Florida State. I'll keep you guys updated on the other scores going on right now in college basketball. If you're new to the channel, feel free to hit that like button down below and the subscribe button as well. I do play-by-play and live reactions of college basketball games. This is Behind the Arc Basketball on YouTube. So Cam Reddish, the last time Duke played Florida State, it was in Tallahassee, and Cam Reddish, with 2 seconds left, was left wide open at the right side of the three-point perimeter and hit down the game-winning three-point shot to win 80-78. Here we are back to action here. Duke now with the ball. We're back to action between Duke and Florida State. Zion with the ball. He passed it off top of the key. 3 by Duke. No good. Zion tried to save it. Gets tipped out of bounds. And it looks like Florida State will get it back with 14:51 left to go in the first. So we have a 2-point game here. Duke's up 8-6. Florida State gets the inbound here. They take it past the timeline. In the series history between Duke and Florida State, Duke leads the series 37-10 right now. And Florida State against a ranked Duke is 5-22 for the Seminoles. Jumper inside the key, no good by the Seminoles. Rebounded by Jack White at Duke. He puts the ball into the hands of Cam Reddish. Reddish now trying to go baseline, and he kicks the ball back outside to Trey Jones. Sets it up at the top of the key here. Jones dribbling towards that right side of the perimeter. Puts the ball into the hands of Zion, trying to move inside. And we have a foul called with 14:13 left to go in the first. So Zion will go back to the free throw line once again. He's a perfect 2 for 2 right now. So here we are at the free throw line with Diane Williamson, around a 67% free throw shooter. First one, no good. Hit the top of the iron right there. He ranks top 5 in basically every single statistical category in ACC play besides free throw shooting percentage for Zion, as he was a perfect 4 for 4 yesterday in the game against UNC. He just missed that one. Now he's 3 for 4 in this game. 9-6, Duke with a 3-point lead. So Zion made 1 out of 2 right there at the free throw line. Just updated the score. Florida State with the ball. They take it past the timeline. They dribble towards the left side of the perimeter. This is David Nichols. He had 14 points yesterday against Virginia. Tried to make his move inside. Kicks it back outside. Phil Kofer now. Left elbow. Deep 2, and he hits it down. 9-8. Currently, Duke up by 1 with 13:50 left to go in the first. Jordan Goldwire in the game for the Blue Devils off the bench. Takes it past the timeline, puts the ball into the hands of RJ, lobs it over the top, and 2-hand jam, slams it home as Zion. 11-8 with 13:35 left to go before halftime. Zion with 5. Florida State with the ball. They take it past the timeline. David Nichols has it at the left wing of the 3-point perimeter here for the Seminoles. Nichols with 13:20 left to go. Tries to look for his man, and the ball is tipped away. Stolen by Duke. Jack White gets a hold of it. Throws it down the court to Zion. He gets stripped of the ball, but Zion gets it back. Puts it into the hands. And RJ with a 3-point shot. No good. Back to Trey Jones. Top of the key. 3 by Jones. No good. So 2 missed 3-point shots right there by Duke. Florida State gets the rebound. 12:58 left to go before halftime. 3-point game. Seminoles with the ball. Right wing of the perimeter. Nichols lobs it over the top. Trying to work his way inside low post stand. Right there. Beyondu Cabanelli loses control of the ball. The ball goes back to Duke. Goldwire now working his way inside. Floats up a shot, no good at the left elbow by Goldwire, rebounded by the Seminoles. 11-8, 12:32 left to go in the first. Florida State with the ball. They have it at the top of the key. Trying to dribble inside now with David Nichols. Passes it back outside top of the key here for Florida State. And they'll set up the offense again with David Nichols. Brings it back towards that New York Life ACC logo. He passes the ball off. Florida State with it at the top of the key. Trying to make their move inside. Floats it up into the lane. They tried to go for the alley-oop. It went awkwardly off the left side of the backboard. Duke now with the ball off the rebound. Zion, top of the key, three all alone. No good. Rebounded, and it gets tipped out of bounds. Last touch by Florida State, so the ball will go back to Duke here with 11:59 left to go in the first. I'll update you guys here with the chat in the score. Duke 11, Florida State 8. If you're new to the channel, feel free to hit that like button down below and the subscribe button as well. I do play-by-play and live reaction videos of college basketball games, so stay in the know here with Behind the Arc Basketball on YouTube. So right now we're on the TV timeout. I'm going to get you guys some score updates of other games going on currently in college basketball. Might want to flip this switch here to Fox to see this one. And it's just gone final anyway. Villanova wins the Big East tournament title. That one has just gone final over Seton Hall, as Villanova has won that 74-72. So now we turn to other games going on. The next one that will most likely finish will be the Buffalo Bulls in the MAC Conference Final. Bowling Green needs to win this game against Buffalo in order to get into the tournament. Buffalo, if they win, it only means that one team from the MAC will get in. And if Buffalo wins, that means somebody on the bubble, preferably TCU, Arizona State, or Oklahoma, whoever the last team is, right before the last four out cutoff line, they've been saved by Buffalo. If Buffalo lets them down, well, they've been cut from the bracket and placed as a 1 seed in the NIT. But currently, Buffalo is tied with Bowling Green 50-50 with 14:39 left to go in regulation. So 50 apiece there between Buffalo and Bowling Green. There's a couple of other games going on right now. The Conference USA Championship just got started. Western Kentucky's up against Old Dominion, 11-10. Old Dominion just made a bucket, so now they're up in front now against Western Kentucky, 12-11. So flip that right now. And in the Big Sky Championship, Eastern Washington's up by 3 against Montana, 29-26. Oh my goodness, yeah, Michigan just crushed Minnesota today. And they just keep on building up. They beat Iowa yesterday by a pretty good margin, crushed Minnesota today. I'll be covering that game tomorrow, Michigan against Michigan State, around 3:30 p.m. Eastern time, the Big Ten final game. So Big Ten title game tomorrow, Michigan against Michigan State. Michigan, man, 76-49 against Minnesota today. Isaiah Livers with 21 points in the game. They're looking red hot right now. Michigan's looking like their self when they went on that 15-game winning streak. They looked red hot when they played at neutral courts back in non-conference play all the way back in November. They're looking like they're that team again. Like when Michigan was playing all the way back in November, they crushed Villanova. It wasn't even close. I think they beat them. It was 73-48 or something. It was a crazy score. But yeah, we'll see if Michigan tomorrow can make it third time's a charm like Duke did yesterday against UNC. So we'll see. I think that game could go either way. All these games. Duke against UNC yesterday, it came down to one basket, basically. Same as Tennessee against Kentucky today. And here we are back to action. Florida State with an inbound in transition, and they run the court and slam it down. Fiondu Kabengele right there with a slam dunk, 11-10, and he gets fouled as well from behind with 11:55 left to go in the first. So Michigan against Michigan State tomorrow. That should hopefully be quite the chat in here as well. Once again, hopefully I'll get a good amount of people in that game. Huge rivalry game. Nothing better than the Big Ten title game for both of those teams to meet up. Free throw at the free throw line is good by Kabengele. tied up at 11 right now. As Duke gets the ball back on the inbound, 11:50 left to go in the first. They pass the timeline here with Trey Jones trying to work his way inside, floats the shot up over the top, and it stops on the bottom part of the rim, and it rims out. However, offensive rebound by Duke. Cam Reddish trying to drive to the bucket, and Reddish gets fouled, and he'll go to the line to shoot two. So we have 11:39 left to go in the first. Going to update you guys with the score. Tie game at 11 between Duke and Florida State. Cam Reddish is at the free throw line here for Duke. Here's the first shot from the line by Reddish. Knocks it down. 12-11, Duke up by 1. This season, Cam Reddish is a 77% free throw shooter, as he'll attempt his second shot at the free throw line here. Knocks that one down as well. Perfect 2 for 2. 13-11, Duke up by 2. Florida State will get the inbounds pass, and they take it past the right side of the timeline. The Seminoles with the ball is Raquan Gray off the bench. He passes it now, dribbling towards the top of the key. And with the ball now is MJ Walker. Walker now, left wing of the perimeter, feeds the ball down inside. At the left elbow with it's Cabangeli for Florida State. Passes the ball, right corner, right wing three from the outside by Florida State. Knocks it down. They have their first lead of the game, besides the 2-0 lead that they had early on. So 14-13. Florida State up by 1. Devin Vassell with a three-point shot. Duke now with the ball. 11 minutes left to play. Left wing with RJ working his way inside. Kicks the ball back outside. Cam Reddish back to the top of the key right there. Trey Jones. Zion now working his way inside. Almost got it stripped. Passes it back left corner. Trey Jones. And he gets it left baseline too right there as he worked his way inside. Duke takes back the lead. First bucket there by Trey Jones. 15-14. Duke up by 1. 10:35 left to go in the first. Florida State with the ball. They pass the left side of the timeline. The Seminoles pass it to the right wing of the perimeter here with Devin Vassell. He just hit the three-point shot. He puts that ball into the hands of MJ Walker, right wing of the perimeter here for Florida State to the top of the key. And now it's into the hands of Raquan Gray, trying to go inside the lane, and Gray gets tied up with a ball, and it'll be a Duke ball with 10:17 left to go in the first. So Raquan Gray right here trying to make his move in the lane, working on Zion, and Zion ties him up right there as he tried to take a shot inside the key. Zion put his full hand right over the ball to deny his shot. Just the whole strength of Diane Williamson right there coming down on Raquan Gray of Florida State. So here we are back to action. Duke now with the ball. Left wing. Three from the outside. RJ, no good. He airballed it, and it goes out of bounds. So Florida State will get the ball back with 10:01 left to go in the first. So here we are back to action. The Seminoles with the ball. They take it past the left side of the timeline. As this is Raquan Gray. He just got denied by Zion on the last play. He tries to make a move inside this time. He gets the bucket, and he gets fouled as well. So Gray will go to the line for one. 16-15. Florida State just took back the lead. So here we are in the replay. Raquan Gray this time working on Javin DeLaurier, and he goes inside and floats up the shot right there inside the right side of the low post and banks it home off the backboard. He's at the line to shoot one as well. 16-15. Florida State up by 1. Here's Raquan Gray at the free throw line. Knocks that one down. 17-15. Seminoles up by 2. Duke now back with the ball in the inbound. Javin DeLaurier with 2 fouls already for the Duke Blue Devils. Trey Jones with the ball at the right wing of the three-point perimeter. He hands the ball off to Goldwire. Now it goes into the hands of Cam Reddish. Reddish passes at the free throw circle to Jones. Kicks it back out to Goldwire. Goldwire working baseline right there, but it's a turnover by Duke. With 9:27 left to go in the first, Florida State will get the ball back. So Florida State here will get the ball in the inbound as they put it into the hands of Trent Forest, the point guard. He takes it past the timeline here for the Seminoles. They're up by 2 with 9:20 remaining. They're working their way inside, and they get that shot in off the top of the rim as They were underneath the bucket right there, 19-15. Seminoles up by 4. 9:05 left to go. Duke with the ball. They take it past the timeline. This is Trey Jones who has it. Jones now at the top of the key, left elbow of the perimeter. Puts the ball into the hands. It's into the hands of Jordan Goldwire. Now into the hands of Cam Reddish. Reddish trying to work his way inside, and he's fouled on the play with 8:52 left to go in the first. So Florida State now with 4 fouls as a team, and Duke with 2, currently at this stage of the game. Duke will get the inbound with 8:52 left to go in the first. Scores Florida State 19, Duke 15. Actually, it was a shooting foul, so actually Cam Reddish will go to the line to shoot too. It looked like he was stripped in the lane, but the refs rolled it a shooting foul instead. So here we are at the free throw line, 19-16. Cam Reddish hit his first one. On the season, Cam Reddish is a 77% free throw shooter. Just knocked down that shot at the charity stripe. He'll have another opportunity here to see if he can cut this Florida State lead down to 2. And he does. 19-17 right now. Seminoles up by 2 with 8:52 left to go in the first. Florida State will get the ball here back on the inbound. And the ball goes into the hands of Raekwon Gray here of the Seminoles. So with 8:45 left to go in the first, we have ourselves a 2-point game. Florida State takes it past the timeline. Raekwon Gray working on Trey Jones here. Gray now dribbles left elbow inside. Top of the key 3 from the outside. Cabanelli knocks it down for the Seminoles. Their largest lead of the game, up by 5, 22-17. Duke now with the ball. Trey Jones has it. Takes it past the top of the key. Jones passes left wing of the perimeter to Zion. Zion now dribbles towards that top of the key. Passes it right wing to RJ. RJ inside the key. Jumper in the key. And he knocks it down. Rings around the rim and goes into the net. 22-19. RJ now with 4 points, shooting 2 for 6 from the field. 8 minutes left to go before halftime. Florida State with the ball. They take it past the timeline. This is Trent Forest dribbling towards the left wing of the 3-point perimeter. Forest now passes it right corner. Right corner 3 from the outside. Oh, and another 3 they knock down. Devin Vassell hits that one for Florida State, as they're up by 6, 25-19. Largest lead of the game so far by the Seminoles. And Duke with the ball, and it gets stolen by Florida State. Taking it all the way and laying it up and in is Trent Forest right there for the Seminoles. And they're up by 8 with 7.5 left to go. Timeout called by Coach K to talk things over for the Duke Blue Devils. Wow. I don't think anybody was expecting this once again. Beating Virginia yesterday by 10, and here they are beating Duke, coming off a huge 1-point victory in last night's game against North Carolina. But here we are, 7:28 left to go before halftime. Florida State with a 27-19 lead early on in this one. I'm going to update you guys with a score here, the box score of both of the teams. Let's see, for Duke, 6 points leading the way. Cam Reddish, Zion with 5, and RJ with 4 right now for the Duke Blue Devils. For the Florida State Seminoles, the leading scorer, Devin Vassell, he's got 6. Oh, the leading scorer, Fianu Cabanelli, he has 8 points, and he's off the bench, same as Devin Vassell as well. 6 points by Vassell, and then 5 points by Trent Forest, 4 points by Kumanji for Florida State. Surprising here, 14 bench points so far for the Florida State Seminoles. So currently we're on a TV timeout. If you haven't done so already, feel free to hit that like button and the subscribe button down below. This is Behind the Arc Basketball on YouTube. I do play-by-play and live reaction videos of college basketball games, and tomorrow I'll be doing 2 games in their championship games for both of those conferences. The SEC title game tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern time, and then the Big Ten title game, that one goes down at 3:30 p.m. Eastern time. So Michigan State to close it out before Selection Sunday. But here we are, 27-19 with 7:28 left to go in the first. When we do get back to action, Florida State, surprisingly, with the 8-point lead. So later tonight, we have a couple more title games that will be crowned. The Pac-12 title game starts in about an hour and 25 minutes from now. The Oregon Ducks riding a red hot, I think it's 7 games they've won in a row. And they're also the number 6 seed in the Pac-12 conference tournament. They play against the number 1 seed, the Washington Huskies, tonight. If Oregon wins, they're in the tournament. Other games going down, the WAC conference final, New Mexico State with a record of 29-4, 15-1 in the WAC takes on Grand Canyon University in the WAC title game tonight. That one starts at about 55 minutes. In the Southland title game, New Orleans takes on Abilene Christian. That game will start in about 25 minutes as well. Western Kentucky against Old Dominion in the Conference USA Championship. Right now, Old Dominion with an 18-14 lead with around 6.5 minutes left to go in that game. At halftime between Eastern Washington and Montana in the Big Sky final game, Eastern Washington with a 5-point lead at halftime against Montana. And then, of course, going on right now, Buffalo against Bowling Green in the MAC title game. Buffalo losing by 1 against Bowling Green, 62-61. Currently in that game. Bowling Green, I believe, is like a top 5 team in the nation on the rebounding games this season. I think they are the number 1 team in the nation right now, out rebounding opponents as well, like rebound margin throughout the season. I think they average like around 12 rebounds more than their opponents this season. But here we are back to action, Duke and Florida State. Duke now with the ball. Cam Reddish trying to dribble baseline, kicks it back out, top of the key with RJ. Passes it right wing of the perimeter here. Trey Jones back to RJ, trying to work his way inside. And right there on the baseline, RJ tried to shoot that one, and that was a huge block from behind. It went out of bounds by Florida State. So RJ with a spin move, baseline inside, tried to shoot it, and right there, the big man, actually not really the biggest player on the team. It's number 25 or number 21. That's the tallest player, but it's number 24, Devin Vassell, got the block right there. 27-19. Duke down by 8. 7:05 left to go, and the ball goes out of bounds for Duke on the turnover. So Florida State will get it back here. The Seminoles have the ball in the inbound. They take it past the timeline. Florida State dribbling towards the left side of the perimeter, as they're looking for somebody who's open there at the top of the key here. Free throw circle jumper. No good by Trent Forest. Hit the top of the iron. Rebounded by Duke here. Zion trying to take it inside, and he goes past 2 defenders in between them, and he slams it down. 27-21. Zion with a two-handed jam with authority. 6-point game. Florida State with the ball. They take it past the timeline with Trent Forest. Forest at the edge, that ACC tournament half-court logo. He dribbles towards that left wing perimeter. Top of the key 3. No good. Hits the top of the iron by Fiyanu Kabengele. Rebounded by Duke. Left wing 3. Cam Reddish. No good. Rebounded by Florida State. And we have a foul on the play with 6:08 left to go in the first. As the past 2 shots were 3-pointers that were misses on the past possessions for both of the teams here. As it looks like we're going to get back to action here. So it was a foul called by Florida State on the last one. Top of the key 3, Zion, no good, and rebounded here by the Seminoles with 5:59 left to go in the first, and a rebounding foul by Duke called on the play. Looked like Jack White got called with a rebounding foul. So I'm going to update you guys here with the score once again. 27-21. Florida State up by 6 currently in this one. We have 5:50 left to go before halftime. Florida State with the ball at the right corner, the 3-point perimeter here. They try to work their way inside. Left wing 3 from the outside by the Seminoles. It hits off the bottom of the right side of the backboard, and we do have another foul called on the play. That was on the offensive end, trying to rebound it by Fiyanu Kabengele. So the ball will go back to Duke with 5:41 left to go in the first. So let's see here on the replay. The last shot was a left wing 3 from the outside. It hit the bottom part of the right side of the backboard, and Kabengele gets charged with the foul for Florida State. If you're new to the channel, feel free to hit that like button down below and the subscribe button as well. I do play-by-play and live reaction calls at college basketball games. Here we are. Florida State 27, Duke 21. We have 5.5 left to go before halftime. Duke now with the ball down by 6. Trying to dribble baseline. Cam Reddish kicks the ball out. Top of the key three. No good by Trey Jones. It rattled out. But RJ gets the rebound at the left corner of the perimeter. He passed it to Zion underneath the basket. And it gets tipped out of bounds by Florida State with 5:21 left to go in the first. So Duke will get the ball back here on the inbound. And they do. They pass the ball inside, and they go up and in. Where they're laying it up and in is R.J. Barrett, and he gets fouled as well. So we'll go to the line for one. 5:20 left to go. Going to update you guys with the latest score in the chat. Florida State 27, Duke 23. R.J. Barrett will be shooting an and one at the free throw line. R.J. Barrett with 6 points. 2 steals so far in this game. He's the leading scorer for the Duke Blue Devils this season, averaging just above 23 points per game. Knocks that one down. 27-24. Duke down by 3. Florida State with the ball. Florida State takes it past the right side of the timeline. This is David Nichols with it. It's stolen away. RJ with a steal, and he slams it down. 27-26. Duke making a comeback here. 7-0 run in the last minute and a half for the Blue Devils. The crowd roaring right here. Going to update you guys with the latest score. Florida State 27, Duke 26. If you're new to the channel, feel free to hit that like button down below and the subscribe button as well. This is Behind the Arc Basketball on YouTube. Hey, what is up? Thank you so much for joining me back here. So we have 5:08 left to go in the first. I just realized before that I typed a 2 instead of a 5 for the time. So yeah, I just updated the score here with the latest one. So we're on a TV timeout. Florida State 27, Duke 26. We have 5:08 left to go when we do get back to action in this game. We'll look to the leading scores right now. Leading the way for the Duke Blue Devils, R.J. Barrett with 9 points. Currently Zion with 7. And Cam Reddish with 6. For the Florida State Seminoles, leading the way off the bench is Devin Vassell with 8 points, 6 points by Kevin Gelly, and 5 points by Trent Forest. So here we are getting ready to go back to action off the timeout taken by Florida State. So Florida State gets the inbound here. They take it past the timeline. In the ACC tournament so far, Diane Williamson has 26 rebounds and 67 points. That is crazy. Florida State now with the ball. Top of the key, and they dribble to the right elbow inside, underneath the basket. They dish it back outside. Left wing three, no good. It rattles out by the Seminoles. Rebounded by RJ here of Duke. They take it past the timeline. RJ floats it up to Zion underneath the basket. We have another foul called, committed by Florida State with 4:33 left to go in the first. And here we are again shooting 1 and 1 at the free throw line. For Zion, once again, Florida State has committed their 7th foul of the game, so Duke is now shooting in the bonus. So here we are, 7 points for Zion, shooting the ball 3 for 4 at the charity stripe, as he's now at the free throw line shooting the 1 and 1. Knocks down the first one. He'll go back to the line for a second one. We're tied up at 27. We have 4:33 left to go before halftime. Zion just hit his first free throw right there during that time. So again, the second one here as he hit part 1 of the 1 and 1. He's now 4 for 5 tonight from the charity stripes. Second shot from the line by Zion. And no good. Hits the front part of the iron. And we have another foul called, I think, committed by Duke here on the rebound. Looks like Jack White committed the foul. So he picks up his second foul there. Gonna update you guys with the score. Tied up at 27 still. 4:32 left to go as Florida State gets the inbound. So Jack White just picked up his second foul trying to inbound the missed free throw by Zion there on the rebound. Florida State with the ball now. They've been held scoreless in the past 3 minutes and 20 seconds. They have the ball at the right wing of the perimeter. Back to the top of the key here for the Seminoles, trying to work their way inside. Right baseline jumper, no good. Hits the rim short, but they get their own rebound. Offensive rebound by the Seminoles. They're at the right corner of the perimeter with Devin Vassell. And now they try to go baseline, and no good. They miss both of their buckets, and they miss a third one as well. But a foul called on the rebound with 3:53 left to go in the first. Yeah, Duke got called with a rebounding foul there. Florida State trying to dribble baseline, and they missed 3 consecutive shots in a row. But Duke finally got called with a rebounding foul. We're going to update you guys here with the chat. Tie game and the score to ACC tournament on the line here. If you're new to the channel, feel free to hit that like button and the subscribe button down below. This is Behind the Arc Basketball on YouTube. And of course, I'll be back tomorrow for the last 2 tournament conference games before Selection Sunday. I'll be covering the SEC tournament final, 1 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow, and also the Big Ten tournament final. And that will be with Michigan State tomorrow, 3:30 p.m. Eastern time. So the SEC tournament final is the number 5 seed Auburn Tigers playing against the Tennessee Vols, as Tennessee came from behind late, beat Kentucky today by 4, 82-78. That was a really good game earlier today. Yesterday's game between Duke and North Carolina was absolutely crazy. I'm going to update you guys on the scores going on right now in college basketball with the other tournament finals and semifinals currently in progress. Inside the MAC final, the Buffalo Bulls with a 4-point lead against Bowling Green with around 6:15 left to go in that game. Buffalo is up 69-65, so they just extended their lead currently. Buffalo did, so they're up by 4 against Bowling Green. Gonna update you guys throughout the night with all the other scores going on in college basketball. Currently, we're tied up at 27 here. And inside the Conference USA game, Old Dominion leading Western Kentucky 28-25. We have a bunch of games tipping off within the next hour or so. Oregon against Washington inside the Pac-12 final. Oregon's been red hot, riding a 7-game winning streak. They beat Washington last week at the Huskies Arena, trying to do it again in the Pac-12 final tonight. So this is Behind the Arc Basketball on YouTube. Hit that like button down below, the subscribe button as well if you're new to the channel. Michigan playing against their in-state rival, Michigan State, tomorrow. The last game before Selection Sunday for the Big Ten tournament final. Michigan crushing Minnesota today, 76-49. Michigan State beating Wisconsin as well, 67-55. Both of those teams are destined to be number 2 seeds. Maybe possibly one of them will fit on the 1 line. We'll see how that goes. If Tennessee wins in the SEC, Tennessee might be back on the 1 line. We'll see. Or either Michigan State, most likely on the 1 line if they decide to take Gonzaga off of that. But most likely there'll be 3 teams from the ACC on the 1 line: Virginia, Duke, and North Carolina State. If Duke can close this one out tonight with a W. Currently updating you guys with scores of college basketball games going on before we get back to action. Buffalo beating Bowling Green with under 6 minutes remaining, 71-65. But here we are. We're going to get back to action between Florida State and also Duke here. Oh, yeah. March basketball at its finest. It's great. So right now we have 3:53 left to go. Jack White is checked out of the game for Duke. So he's on the bench with 3 fouls, 0 points. First shot at the free throw line goes down for Florida State. The first one goes down by Terrence Mann. He hit the game-winning shot against Virginia Tech in overtime. Second shot goes down, 29-27. I've been watching since around January. I've been watching college basketball. Right after non-conference play ended is when I started to pick it up. And right there, trying to work their way inside. Duke lays it in. We're tied up at 29. 3.5 left to go before halftime. Zion with a bucket right there as he got the offensive rebound, laid it up and underneath. 10 points, 2 rebounds tonight for Zion. Florida State with the ball. Working baseline at the right side, trying to back their way inside the low post. They kick it back outside. Top of the key here for the Seminoles. They're at the left wing of the perimeter, trying to go Inside, they dish it back outside. Top of the key three. Florida State, no good. Rattles out by David Nichols. Rebounded by Duke. With 3 minutes left to go, they take it past the timeline with Goldwire. Goldwire with a ball. Duke has not hit a three-point shot so far in this game. They're 0 for 8. The ball into the hands of Trey Jones. He's at the New York Life logo, dribbling towards that right side of that perimeter. Puts the ball into the hands now of R.J. Barrett, left wing in the three-point perimeter for Duke. We're tied up at 29. Feeds it off to Zion, low post. Kicks it back outside. Cam Reddish trying to go for the jumper at the right elbow. It gets tipped up in the air, going the other way now. Florida State with the ball. They're at the left wing of the perimeter here. The Seminoles have it at that left wing of the three-point perimeter. Now at the free throw circle, they hand the ball off. Left elbow back to the left wing. They're dribbling. Terrence Mann with the ball here for the Seminoles. We're tied up at 29 with 2:15 left to go. Mann trying to go inside, feeds the ball off, and is taken away by RJ. Devin Vassell tried to shoot it underneath the bucket, and RJ was right there to deny him from that happening. 2 minutes left to go. 29 even. Right wing behind the three-point perimeter with Trey Jones. Passes it off. Left wing to Goldwire. Left corner here with Cam Reddish. Back to the top of the key with Jones. Lobs it over the top, and RJ puts it home. 31-29, Duke with a lead by 2. 1:45 left to go before halftime. R.J. Barrett with 11 points, 4 rebounds so far for the Duke Blue Devils. Florida State with the ball. They pass it from the key to the left corner. Nails a three from the outside, 32-31. Back and forth game here. Duke now with the ball, working their way inside with authority, and Zion slams it down. Back in front is Duke. 12 points by Zion. 33-32, minute and 18 left to go before halftime. Florida State with the ball. They put the ball into the hands of Trent Forest here, the point guard for Florida State, trying to go inside, floats up the shot too high off the backboard, and we have a foul called with 1:08 left to go. So Florida State will shoot 2 here at the free throw line. Going to update you guys with the score. Zion with a slam jam with authority a few minutes ago. And then he follows it up with that offensive rebound on the replay and puts it back up and in. Duke is up by 1. Florida State's at the free throw line. 33-32. We're tied up now at 33. So the first shot at the charity stripe was good for the Florida State Seminoles. We have a minute and 8 left to go before halftime. If you're new to the channel, feel free to hit that like button and the subscribe button down below. Florida State back out in front. They make both of their free throws right there. Duke now with the ball in the inbounds. They take it past the timeline here with RJ. And they pass it now to around the free throw circle and back to the right wing of the three-point perimeter. They have it with Trey Jones, top of the key three, knocks it down. 36-34, Duke with a 2-point lead. 42 seconds left before halftime. I didn't plan to do the Selection Sunday broadcaster so tomorrow. But yeah, that's like a pretty cool idea. There's so many teams. That's why I wouldn't. I'm not sure how that would go. I wouldn't be sure how many teams would how many people would tune in for that, because there's just so many teams in the bracket, and there's a good amount of teams I know about, but there's a lot that I really also haven't followed that much. Yeah, for most of them, I possibly could or so, but a lot of the matchups I might not be able to, because there's just a lot of these random teams that's made it into the tournament or so, winning their conference, like I think it's NC Central or something like that won, I think, the MEAC today. A couple random teams in there. Florida State is at the free throw line, just hit their first one with Terrence Mann. 36-35 right now. Florida State will be back here at the free throw line. 26 seconds left to go in the first. And that one is good as well. We're tied up at 36. So here we are, under 20 seconds left to go before halftime. Duke now with the ball at the right corner of the front court, and now they pass it into Trey Jones here. He passes it right wing of that three-point perimeter. They're trying to dribble baseline inside. No good. Rebounded by David Nichols of Florida State. 1 second remaining. Left elbow deep two. No good at the horn, and we're tied up at 36 at halftime. So I'm going to update you guys here with the chat and the score. 36 apiece here going into halftime between these two teams. If you're new to the channel, feel free to hit that like button down below and the subscribe button as well. I do play-by-play and live reaction videos of college basketball games. I'll be back tomorrow with the SEC final, Auburn against Tennessee, tomorrow 1 p.m. Eastern time. And then, of course, the Big Ten title game, Michigan against Michigan State. That one is around 3:30 p.m. Eastern time for the tip-off. So, yeah, we'll see what happens in the tournament here as we're going to halftime. But a lot of big games have gone down in college basketball today. Tennessee against Kentucky. Tennessee came from behind late and beat Kentucky 82-78. So tomorrow I got Tennessee and Auburn at 1 o'clock. And then I got the big one, Michigan against Michigan State tomorrow at 3:30. So yeah, two pretty good games in action. This is a big one for Michigan. Just they blew out Iowa and then they crushed Minnesota today. So back-to-back wins in the Big Ten tournament for Michigan. And here we are against their in-state rival, trying to see if third time's the charm here for the Michigan Wolverines tomorrow. As Michigan looked extremely incredible around like November and December. They went on a 15-game winning streak. And they were insane when back in non-conference play. They beat Villanova. It was something crazy, like 73-47 earlier this season. It was just a huge win by Michigan. And then they also beat North Carolina. I think the score was 84-67 back in non-conference play in November. So if Michigan can get back to their full strength that they were back in November and use it to March, they could be very dangerous in this tournament, just like last year where they went all the way to the final. If they can beat Michigan State tomorrow, there's a good chance that Michigan can be put in the final as well. There's some teams that I do like. There's some teams that I don't trust at all in the tournament. I really don't trust Purdue now in the tournament. They have an undefeated home game. Undefeated at home this season, the Purdue Boilermakers. But on the road, they've been not good at all for Purdue. And they showed it as well on their game against Minnesota the other day, that they lost against Minnesota in that one. So it doesn't look like they can even play at a neutral site as well. They didn't have a great record on the road this season. They lost their first game of the Big Ten tournament against Minnesota. So I'm not looking like Purdue could be the team to look out for. There's a couple of other teams that's like a little bit dicey in there. Marquette, they rely on Marcus Howard a lot. Not sure how much they can get through in the tournament or so. There could be a bunch of teams in there that could pull off upsets left and right. Also Nevada, not really feeling Nevada at all. Losing to San Diego State yesterday in their conference semifinals in the Mountain West. Not really feeling them at this moment. But yeah, there's teams that I'm really high on right now that think that they can do pretty good when it comes to the tournament or so. One of them that I think that could go deep is the Houston Cougars right now. They have so much team chemistry that goes on with a starting five. It's incredible. And then they have the bench to pull it out as well with the talented players. They can shoot the three ball basically as good as anybody in all college basketball. They're also a really, really good defensive team. They don't give up many points. They're one of the best teams defending shots from outside the perimeter and inside the perimeter as well. This Houston Cougars team, this is a team to look out for in the tournament. I think can make a deep run, led by a couple of big shooters in there. Corey Davis Jr., he had 17 points, 5 rebounds, 2 blocks today. They also have Armani Brooks. I believe he's the #1 3-point shooter in the American Conference right now. Also, Galen Robinson Jr., the point guard, up there, top 5 in assists in the American Conference as well. Houston's a team to look out for. Dejan Jarreau, one of the taller players on the team. He's got some length out there on the court, can rebound the ball just as good as anyone. Got some big wingspan out there. So yeah, Houston looks like a team that could make a big run in the tournament. They had a tough game today at Memphis that they won 61-58. They're moving on to the conference tournament final to play Cincinnati again. And they also played Cincinnati last week, and they beat them, like they crushed them at Cincinnati last Sunday. So one of the teams that I feel really strong about going into this tournament is the Houston Cougars. They beat Memphis only by 3 today, but guess what? The American tournament was held at the home court of the Memphis Tigers as well. So basically that was like a home game in Memphis. Like 90% of that crowd I saw on today's game between Houston and Memphis, they had all like blue t-shirts on, blue jerseys. So it was basically a bunch of Memphis fans in there. Houston was up throughout like the entire game basically against Memphis. Still, Memphis kept it close, but Houston still came out with a W. Now, here we are with the Big 12. Just, man, I cannot get a read on this conference at all. Texas Tech losing to West Virginia in their first game of the conference tournament. Texas Tech was a number 7 ranked team inside the top 25. Here we are. Iowa State won the Big 12 title game today against Kansas, 78-66. Iowa State beat Kansas State yesterday by 4 points. You do have to understand that Kansas State was held without their second top scorer on the team, Dean Wade, who was held out of the Big 12 tournament because he had a lingering foot injury that's plagued him throughout the year or so. So they want him to rest up for the March Madness tournament. I think that if they do get Dean Wade back for the tournament, he's a game changer. He's one of the best shooters right now inside shooting percentage in the Big 12 conference. Dean Wade is for Kansas State. And he's also got the ability to block shots and also slam jam the ball with authority. He's one key player to look out for. Can you actually watch for free without a subscription or so? Well, I'm not able to stream the game because if I do so, I'll get like a copyright law or so for that. So I'll get a copyright strike if I do stream the game for that. So I only do a play-by-play live reaction, but we're at halftime here anyway between Florida State and Duke currently in this one. But if you do want to watch the game, I know that they have it online currently. I think it's on ESPN3.com, but they might supply it to you in Spanish only. I'm not sure if they have like other cameras there. Sometimes they have the game on, I think, with like an above the rim camera that they do as well. But I think if you go onto ESPN3.com and then type in Duke, Florida State, it should come up there for free if you do have internet access. But here we are at halftime here. Utah State with a big Mountain West Championship win, 64-57 against San Diego State about an hour ago as well. So Utah State punched their ticket into the tournament. Villanova beat Seton Hall in the Big East Final, 74-72. This is the defending national champs right here, the Villanova Wildcats. They coming into the season, Villanova right now is the number 1 team in power out of all power conference teams that they attempt the most 3-point shots by any power conference team in all college basketball right now. Villanova ranks inside the top 5 in most 3-point shooting attempts per game. They average about 30 3-point shot attempts per game this season, but they actually beat Seton Hall today 74-72. So when Villanova can shoot the 3 ball and knock stuff down, this team could be dangerous to watch out for. But from time to time, when they've not been able to convert on 3-point shots, like they had trouble against Xavier, when they had trouble against Seton Hall the last time they played them a week ago, then Villanova gets behind and then they just start up throwing 3-point shots in desperation or so. Yeah, we'll see if there's any of those teams that can be that Loyola Chicago this year or so. I'm curious for Selection Sunday tomorrow to see how many mid-majors get in that didn't win their conference. Curious to see if it was enough for the Belmont Bruins to get in, who finished second in the Ohio Valley Conference, right behind Murray State. So that's what I'm looking out for tomorrow. Do they take that team with a record of, I think it's 27-5 overall? Will they take Belmont into the tournament, or will they put somebody else in the tournament like TCU with a conference record of 7-11 and with like a record of, I think, 20-13 overall? So yeah, it's going to be curious to see on Selection Sunday tomorrow who gets in. But if you're new to the channel, feel free to hit that like button down below and the subscribe button as well. I do play-by-play and live reactions of college basketball games, so stay in the know here with Behind the Arc Basketball on YouTube. So I'm going to update you guys on the score. Looks like Buffalo is going to be the MAC champs here. They're running away from it against Bowling Green. Buffalo, with a minute left to play, is up 86-71 against Bowling Green. So there are your MAC champions. 31-3 overall, the Buffalo Bulls. Watch out for them in the tournament. Last year, they upset Minnesota. Buffalo was a number 13 team, they beat Arizona in the first round, upset number 4 Arizona. Buffalo crushed them last year. CJ Massenberg, one of the big players to look out for in the tournament for the Buffalo Bulls, as they're another team that could shock some in the tournament and make waves inside Sweet 16, maybe Elite 8. We'll see, because there's some of those non-conference teams over here that could make it into the deep run or so into the tournament. So when all these brackets come out, I'm going to look at like all the scores from what's been going on so far with all the action that's all these teams have been playing this season. Looks like Florida most likely played themselves into the tournament with the big win yesterday against LSU. Andrew Nemhard hit the game-winning top of the key shot with a second remaining. They did lose by 3 today to Auburn. I believe it was enough, though, to get Florida into the tournament, finishing 19-15 overall. So yeah, they have a better record than most of the other bubble teams right towards the bubble, like Texas. People were saying still kind of towards the bubble with a 500 record, 16-16 overall. So yeah, there's a bunch of games to watch out for tonight and tomorrow. Oregon against Washington later tonight, the Pac-12 tournament final. Oregon on a 7-game winning streak. They're finally finding their team together. They'd be even better if they had Bol Bol in the lineup. A top 15 NBA draft pick Bol Bol is. He got injured in non-conference play around December. He was averaging around 20 points per game, but Bol Bol went down with a season-ending injury. But Oregon, they've rallied late behind the team. They've won 7 games in a row. They beat Washington last week at Washington. They have a chance to beat them tonight and go to the tournament if they do so. So that's going to be a very interesting game. The other one is a game that starts at midnight tonight, the Big West Conference Final. Cal State Fullerton with a record of 16-16 going up against California Irvine. California Irvine with a record of 29-5 overall, 15-1 in the Big West. UC Irvine, if they get in, that could be another team that pulls off a pretty big upset in the first round, depending on who the matchup is. If they do place them there with a team that's struggled on neutral courts and then in a round also away courts. See, one of those teams is Purdue that's been struggling away from home this season. They're undefeated at home, but away from home, they've really, really struggled. So depending on the matchup, I'm curious to see them in New Mexico State. New Mexico State playing in their conference final as well. Okay, let's see. The conference that I do see represented in the bracket. Let's see what they got here by ESPN, because I know they give me numbers of who goes into the bracket here. It looks like ACC and Big Ten could possibly, both of those conferences could get 8 teams into the bracket. So it looks like probably a tie between the ACC and Big Ten right now. ESPN, it looks like 8 teams from the bracket, 7 from the SEC, 7 from the Big 12. Of course, that could change as well. But on the bubble for the Big Ten is Ohio State. I do believe it was enough to get them in because they did beat Indiana in their first conference tournament game, and then they did lose their next game against Michigan State, but I think it'll be enough for Ohio State to get in. For the ACC, actually, the Big Ten might get more teams than the ACC. It depends on how NC State falls in. NC State right now is the last team in the bracket. And this is what's up with NC State. They have over 20 wins this season. They had a 9-9 conference record, but NC State finished with a non-conference strength of schedule of 353. How many teams are there in college basketball? Well, there's that number, 353. They have the weakest non-conference schedule out of every single team in college basketball. Will it be enough for NC State to get into the tournament? We'll see. They have a record of 22-11, 9-9 overall. Of course, the tournament committee will look at some stuff, and one of them that will point out is the game that they scored 24 points against Virginia Tech and lost 47-24. Those 24 points when they lost against Virginia Tech were the lowest amount of points that a college basketball team has ever scored in the shot clock era since the 1985 season, since the shot clock was installed in college basketball. So NC State, will it be enough to get them into the tournament? We'll see tomorrow on Selection Sunday. They do have 22 wins. They also play in the strongest conference in all college basketball, the ACC. But look at this non-conference schedule. It's like a cupcake. The teams that they beat in the non-conference schedule. They beat St. Peter's University. They beat Maine. They beat the University of Maryland Eastern Shore. They beat Mount St. Mary's. They also beat Vanderbilt, who is winless in the SEC. They beat Penn State, who is one of the bottom teams in the Big Ten. They did beat Auburn, though, and Auburn keeps on winning, and they also play in the SEC title game tomorrow. Auburn might be helping out NC State towards getting towards that towards the bracket here. Yeah, they have a record of 22-11, but 9-9 in the ACC for NC State. But those non-conference games they schedule the easiest non-conference schedule in all of college basketball. When they play games against the Maine Black Bears and stuff like that, yeah, it's like a head scratcher right there. Why they scheduled so many of those easy non-conference games, and even though they won them all, it might come back to bite them. We'll see tomorrow. Because that's not helpful when you schedule these non-conference games against teams like Mount St. Mary's, Maryland, Eastern Shore, Maine. It just didn't help out in North Carolina State's cause. But they did beat Auburn in non-conference play. But here we are back to action. Florida State and Duke. With 19:48 left to go, as we just got back to action, Florida State with the ball. They have it at the top of the key. This is a tie game, as Florida State has it right wing in the three-point perimeter. Top of the key now. Terrence Mann takes the three-point shot and hits it down for the Seminoles, starting it out here, 39-36. FSU with a three-point lead. Duke with the ball. They're at the right wing of the three-point perimeter. They try to take it inside with RJ, and a foul called on the play right there with 19:21 left to go, as that's the first foul called inside by Florida State. Classic. 39-36. I'm going to update you guys with a score here. Duke will get the inbound with 19:21 left to go. They're trying to work their way inside. Javin DeLaurier kicks it back out, and it's a free throw circle jumper. Goes down right there for Trey Jones. If you haven't done so already, hit that like button and the subscribe button down below. I do play-by-play and live reaction videos of college basketball. 39-38, one-point game here. They take it past the left side of the timeline. Florida State with the ball at the top of the key. They have it, and they pass it to the right wing of the perimeter. The Terrence Mann trying to work his way inside, and no good, as that one's rebounded by Trey Jones here of Duke. They're pushing tempo here. Zion floats up the shot up, and then he banks it off the backboard. Duke with a one-point lead, 40-39. 18:38 left to go in the ball game. Zion with 14 points right now. He's shooting 5 for 8 from the field. Florida State has it at the right elbow with the ball. Trent Forest trying to go inside. Floats up a shot in the key. No good. Rattles out. Offensive rebound, though, by Kumaji. Kumaji is 7'4". Florida State under the basket, no good. Rebounded by Duke there. Huge rebound by the Blue Devils. 40-39, Zion now trying to take it inside the key. Going off, and he gets that one up and in right there by Zion. Big shot. He float that one as it hit the top of the rim and into the net. 16 points right now for the projected #1 NBA draft pick. 42-39, Duke up by 3 with 17:52 left to go. Florida State with the ball, looking for somebody who's open. They're in trouble. They do get it into the hands of MJ Walker. They take it to the right wing of the three-point arc, and now they're trying to dribble inside. Underneath the basket. Step back floater, no good by Walker. Kumaji tries to tip it in for Florida State, no good. Delorier gets the rebound. Duke now takes it past the timeline. Top of the key three, Reddish. No good, hits the top of the iron and rebounded by the Seminoles. Hit that like button down below, the subscribe button as well. 42-39, Duke with a 3-point lead. Florida State working their way inside. No good. Rebounded by Kumaji, and the ball goes off his foot out of bounds. Duke will get the ball back with 17-16 left to go. Going to update you guys with the score once again. Duke with a 3-point lead. And they'll get the ball here back on the inbound momentarily, as Zion's had the past couple of buckets here for Duke. Going inside in the paint, and that's what he does. 17-10. Left to go in this one. Going to update you guys here with the score. 42-39, 17 minutes left to go. Duke with the ball, and a miss slam dunk by Javin Delorier. Oh, man, Trey Jones fed that one inside to Delorier. Missed a slam dunk, and he was all alone too, but he got fouled on the play from behind. He'll go to the line. So looking at the replay here, Trey Jones, oh, man, nice dish inside the Delorier, and he could not finish at the rim. And that would have been a 3-point play possibly if he did. But here we are, Javin Delorier at the free throw line. First shot, and it goes down for Duke. They have a 4-point lead, 43-39. We have 17 minutes left to go in this game. Hit that like button down below if you haven't done so already, and the subscribe button as well. I'll be back with Auburn against Tennessee tomorrow, Michigan against Michigan State as well in the Big Ten title game. Second shot from the line goes down by Delorier. Duke with a 44-39 lead. 16:55 left to go. 8-0 run by the Blue Devils in the last 2 minutes, 25 seconds. Florida State with the ball now. Top of the key here. This is MJ Walker with it for the Seminoles. Dribbling now. He tries to take it inside and hits the rim short. Rebounded by Zion here. 16:36 remaining. Passes it. And what a spectacular pass by Zion. Finding Trey Jones all the way on the other side of the court, and he lays it up and in. 46-39, Duke with the lead. Timeout called by Leonard Hamilton, head coach of the Florida State Seminoles, with 16:26 left to go. 46-39 right now. Hit that like button if you're new to the channel, and the subscribe button as well. This is Behind the Arc Basketball on YouTube. I do play-by-play and live reactions to college basketball videos, so stay in the know here throughout the rest of the college basketball season into the March Madness tournament with my channel. Right there's the score, 46-39. Gonna go over the leading scores here for both of the teams. So leading the way, Zion once again, 16 points here for the Blue Devils. 3 rebounds tonight by Zion, 2 assists, and a steal as well, and also a block. RJ Barrett right behind him, 11 points right now for Duke, and also Trey Jones with 9 points. Cam Reddish with 6. Florida State leading the way, 10 points by Terrence Mann. He hit the game-winning shot against Virginia Tech in overtime. That was back on Thursday. Florida State's gone to overtime twice against Virginia Tech. They beat them twice. Let's see what else is going on in college basketball right now. I think we have a final update to get to if we do between Buffalo and Bowling Green. And yes, we do. Buffalo winners over Bowling Green in the MAC conference final. Just ended a few minutes ago. Buffalo in the tournament, 87-73 against Bowling Green. Buffalo, a team to watch out for, led by C.J. Massenberg, as that team is ranked in the top 25 and number 18 right now. Jeremy Harris with a big game for the Buffalo Bulls. 31 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. And I'll update you guys on all night when we're on the commercial breaks of Florida State against Duke with the other games going on in action. Not too many major conference schools right now in action. The Big Sky Tournament Final, Montana's up against Eastern Washington 59-53. Old Dominion up against Western Kentucky 34-31 in the Conference USA Championship game. But later tonight, this one starts around 10:30 p.m. Eastern time. The Oregon Ducks riding a 7-game winning streak. Will it be enough for the tournament? They have to get by Washington again tonight. That's the Pac-12 final. That one starts in about 40 minutes or so. But here we are, Florida State and Duke. We're currently on a TV timeout. We're going to get back to action shortly. If you haven't done so already, hit that like button down below and the subscribe button as well, as I do play-by-play with my live reactions as well to college basketball games. So stay in the know here with Behind the Arc Basketball on YouTube, keeping you up to date throughout the rest of these conference tournaments. The SEC tournament I'll be doing tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern time. Auburn going up against Tennessee. Tennessee with a big clutch shot in the final seconds by Lamonte Turner, sending Tennessee to the title game tomorrow. So Tennessee won Kentucky today, 82-78. And, of course, the Big Ten title game tomorrow, Michigan against Michigan State. Yeah, same with me. I'm not covering that game tonight, Oregon against Washington. That game starts way too late. Like, all those games in the West Coast, because we're from the East Coast here, they start at these, like, crazy times, like, out there, like Fresno State, BYU, like those game times, like even like Gonzaga times, like San Francisco out there. Those games start like usually like 11 o'clock at night or so. They're so late, it's crazy that they don't get done until like 1 in the morning. But here we are, back to action. Florida State with the ball. They're down by 7. Jumper at the free throw circle. They knock it down right there. 46-41, 16-12 left to go in this game. Duke with the ball. Phil Kofer with 4 points right now for the Seminoles. Trey Jones takes it past the timeline for Duke. He passes the ball to Zion now at the top of the key. Zion passes it left wing. Left wing three by Cam Reddish. No good. And the ball goes out of bounds as Javin Delorier tried to get the rebound as he was battling a Florida State defender for it. It looked like it was knocked out of bounds by Duke, so the ball will go back to Florida State with 15:57 left to go. I'm going to update you guys here with a chat here in the score. It looks like another TV timeout, but the score is 46-41. As this is Behind the Arc Basketball on YouTube. If you're new to the channel, hit that like button down below and the subscribe button, as well as I do play-by-play and live reaction to college basketball games. But yeah, Florida State was up throughout most of the game in the first half. They were up in this one, but Duke, starting out the second half, pretty good shooting from the floor here. As right now, Duke is shooting the ball at 46% from the floor. Florida State's 36% shooting from the floor. Duke's also out-rebounding the Seminoles 24-20. The past 2 games, Florida State has out-rebounded their opponents by a pretty good margin. They out-rebounded Virginia Tech 43-30, and then they out-rebounded Virginia yesterday 35-20. But here we are, Duke out-rebounding Florida State 24-20 currently in this one. Yeah, I don't get the Pac-12 network either over here, but like it's not really something that I would pay attention to anyway, because I'm from the East Coast here up in New England anyway. So those are all the games out there: California, Washington, Oregon, out towards that area, Arizona. But yeah, such a down year for Arizona. Like, man, it was just such a down year for the Pac-12 in general. They had the worst December in non-conference play in, I think, over 20 years in non-conference play. I think the Pac-12, every single team, if you put the Pac-12 together, I think they finished with a record of 36-37 in non-conference play in December for the entire Pac-12. But here we are, the Pac-12 title game, the number 1 team in the Pac-12, the Washington Huskies, playing against the Oregon Ducks tonight. Oregon's been red hot, 7 wins in a row, going up against the Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Year, Matisse Thybulle. as he's also leading all college basketball in blocks per game. But right now, we're on a TV timeout between Florida State and Duke. We're going to get back momentarily to this game. I believe that there were 14 automatic bids today in college basketball for today's games. And then tomorrow, there'll be even more. The American Conference, Cincinnati against Houston, they're going at it. Also, the Big Ten title game as well. I'll be covering that one. Michigan State against Michigan. The SEC title game. Auburn against Tennessee. Also, the Ivy League title game as well. It's kind of weird. The Ivy League, they only do a 4-team playoff as well. Usually, all the other leagues, what they do, they have like every team play in their conference tournament final. With the Ivy League, they only do a 4-team playoff. And it looks like Harvard will be playing against Yale tomorrow. So, of course, that'll be a big matchup there in the Ivy. Winner takes all into the March Madness tournament. So we have 15:57 left to go in this game. We're going to get back to action here momentarily. Duke is trying to seek their 21st ACC conference title if they do win tonight. So here we are, back to action. Florida State takes it past the right side of the timeline. This is Trent Forest with the ball. Forest looking for somebody who's open. Lobs it over the top as he tried to get behind the defense was Fiondu Cavangeli, but he steps out of bounds with 15:40 left to go on the play. Let's see here. Cavangeli with the ball. Yeah, on the replay, up, he took it out of bounds. Wow, so it's a turnover by Florida State. The ball will go back to Duke. The score is 46-41. Duke's up by 5 with 15.5 left to go. RJ with the ball, takes it past the timeline, puts it into the hands of Trey Jones. Jones now feeds it off to the free throw circle. Free throw circle jumper by Zion. Knocks it down right there by the number 1 projected NBA draft pick. 18 points tonight by Zion, 7 for 10 shooting from the field. Coming off that perfect 13 for 13 game shooting against Syracuse on Thursday. 48-41, Duke up by 7. 15:05 left to go. Florida State right corner 3. And it's an air ball rebounded by Duke here as the ball goes into the hands of RJ Barrett. Going inside, up and in off the glass right there by RJ. 9-point lead by Duke. 50-41. 14:50 left to go. RJ with 13 tonight. Florida State with the ball, and we do have, looks like a foul called on the play. First foul committed by Duke in the second half. Right here, the play before that, last bucket by Duke. RJ Barrett taking that one into the lane, shooting at home right over a Florida State defender right there to bank that shot home. 14:47 left to go. Duke with a 9-point lead. Florida State with the ball. Hey, thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for being a part of the channel. Florida State trying to work their way inside, and we do have a foul called on the play. Duke tried to take the charge, but looks like they weren't in possession right there, so Florida State will go to the free throw line to shoot. And let's see here on the replay. Number 1, that was Raekwon Gray. He also laid it up and in into the bucket, so we'll go to the line for an and 1. Duke was right in their position to try to take a charge was RJ Barrett, but he couldn't get it by the refs. And they do hit the shot from the free throw line. 6-point lead here by Duke as Raekwon Gray laid up the ball. He got fouled as well, went to the line and hit in the and 1. Duke up 50-44. Going to update you guys here with the score. We have 14:20 left to go. Duke now with the ball. Top of the key 3 by RJ. No good. Rattled out. Rebounded by Trent Forest here of Florida State. Florida State now with the ball, down by 6. They have it at the left wing of the 3-point perimeter. Feel free to like my video, share, subscribe to my channel. As Florida State now has the ball. Left baseline jumper, no good by the Seminoles. Rebounded by Duke here. They take it past the timeline. RJ Barrett in the lane, and we got ourselves a foul called with 13:50 left to go as Florida State gets charged with their 3rd foul of the second half as RJ Barrett tried to take that one into the lane for the Duke Blue Devils. So Duke will get the inbound here. Update you guys with the score once again. 50 left to go. 50-44 is the score. Duke with the ball in their hand. RJ Barrett puts it now into the hands of the point guard, Trey Jones. 13:40 remaining, 14 on the shot clock. Jones now left wing of the three-point perimeter, trying to work his way inside. Feeds the ball underneath the bucket, up and in off the glass. Javin DeLaurier banks it home. 52-44, Duke up by 8. Under 13.5 left to play. Florida State with the ball. They take it past the right side of the timeline. This is the point guard, Trent Forest. He puts the ball into the hands here of Terrence Mann at the left wing of the three-point perimeter. And now here to the top of the key, MJ Walker back to the right wing to Forest. Forest now lobs it over baseline at the right side, trying to work his way inside. Raekwon Gray. And we do have a reach-in foul called by Duke with 13:07 left to go in the second. So Florida State will get the inbound pass here momentarily. If you're new to the channel, feel free to hit that like button down below and the subscribe button as well, as I call play-by-play and do live reaction videos at college basketball games. Here we are back to action. 8-point lead by Duke. They also have 32 points in the paint today compared to Florida State's 12. Another foul called on the Duke Blue Devils. Javin DeLaurier with his third foul he's picked up. He has 6 points today. 13:01 left to go. Another inbounds pass momentarily for Florida State. They're down by 8. 52-44, Duke with a lead. So here we are. Florida State's going to get it off with an inbounds pass here momentarily. They do. They pass it right wing of the perimeter, and now they're at the top of the key. This is with Devin Vassell. He passes it right elbow, trying to work his way inside, backing his way, low post jumper. No good, off the mark by Raekwon Gray. Rebounded by Javin DeLaurier of Duke. 52-44 with 12:40 left to go. Duke with an 8-point lead. Burst the speed up inside. No good. He couldn't finish to the bucket. Was Trey Jones. And we do have a foul called by Kabengele of Florida State on the play with 12:39 left to go. Kabengele doesn't know why he got called with a foul there. Trey Jones tried to go for a reverse hand layup. And, oh, maybe there was a goaltend right there. Yeah, it's a goaltend on the play. So no foul was called. It was Kabengele who goaltended it. He tipped the ball at the top of the backboard right there as Trey Jones tried a reverse hand layup. Huh. That's interesting that you can't find the like button. That's so weird. It should be below the video. If you have it in full screen, maybe that's why. Florida State tries to drive to the bucket. No good. Zion now with the ball. He takes it past the timeline. Burst the speed by Zion, and he gets fouled with 12:20 left to go. Going to update you guys with a chat once again. I'll be back tomorrow to call the SEC tournament final. Auburn taking on Tennessee, and I'll be back as well for the Big Ten tournament final tomorrow. Michigan against Michigan State. Duke with the lead currently in this one. Zion was just fouled as he tried to take it inside with a burst of speed. The score is 54-44. Duke up by 10. They'll get the inbound here with 12:20 left to go. They do. They pass the ball off to the left wing of the three-point perimeter to RJ Barrett here. He leads the Duke team in scoring with 23 points per game on average this season. RJ now working his way inside. Spin move. He coughs up the ball, though. Stolen away by Florida State. They take it past the timeline. 12 minutes remaining. They pass it off left corner of the perimeter to the left wing here of the three-point perimeter. They set it up. And now they're at the left elbow, left wing. Three, no good by Florida State. Rebounded by Trey Jones of Duke. 11:45 left to go. 10-point lead by Duke. Jones now bursts the speed inside. He lays it up and in. Goes the distance of the court right there by Trey Jones. Blowing by the entire Florida State defense. 12-point lead by Duke. 11.5 left to go. Florida State with the ball, and they almost cough it up. They do have it back, and it's stolen by Duke this time. Oh, an exclamation point. Lob pass, alley-oop. Trey Jones to RJ. Over the top, and there you have it. 8-0 run in the last 2 minutes, 20 seconds. 58-44. Duke with a huge lead. Timeout called by Florida State. Wow, Florida State right there on the last play. They were trying to dribble inside. And it looked like that play where Zion was dribbling against North Carolina, the one that he injured himself on, that his sneaker blew up. It looked like the exact same play But this time it was Florida State who had the ball. They slipped on the court at the right elbow inside the three-point line. And then they did get the ball in their hands, but Duke stole the ball right from their hands and took it the distance with Trey Jones going up the court as he alley-ooped past it. And right there, RJ Barrett with a huge jam. So I'm going to update you guys with a score, 58-44. Duke with a 14-point lead currently in this one. And we're on a TV timeout right now. When we do get back to action, we'll have 11 minutes and 11 seconds left to go in this game. If you haven't done so already, hit that like button down below and the subscribe button as well. This is Behind the Arc Basketball on YouTube, and I call play-by-play of college basketball games, and I'll be doing this throughout the March Madness tournament as well. So stay in the know here with my channel. So it looks like another team will punch their ticket into March Madness within the next minute or so. It looks like the Montana Grizzlies this time. Montana in the Big Sky Basketball Championship is 4 seconds away from punching their ticket into the March Madness tournament, as they're up against Eastern Washington right now, 68-62 in that game. And then the game at the other games going on, they're all those mid-major conferences currently. Old Dominion's up against Western Kentucky, 43-40. Abilene Christian is up against New Orleans, 27-17 in the Southland Conference. After that, the only other major conference tonight, Pac-12 tournament final, Oregon playing against Washington, as Oregon needs to win that game in order to make it into the March Madness bracket. Whoever wins this one here will get the ACC title. Duke is trying to go for their 21st ACC tournament title for the Duke Blue Devils. And right now, they look like they're in position to do so. They have a 58-44 lead with Florida State. And when we do get back to action, we'll have 11 minutes and 11 seconds left to go in regulation. Let's look at the box score here. The leading scores for the Duke Blue Devils, it looks like this, as Diane Williamson is leading the team with 18 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal, and a block tonight. Second on the team in scoring, RJ Barrett, 15 points, 4 steals, 6 rebounds as well. And also Trey Jones scoring double-digit points in tonight's game. 13 points and 6 assists for today for Trey Jones. And yeah, Jones has been scoring pretty well as of late. I think he had double-digit points in yesterday's game as well against North Carolina, doing a pretty good job tonight. Cam Reddish with 6 points right now, and Javin DeLaurier with 6 to add in for the Blue Devils. For Florida State, the leading scorer right now, 10 points for Terrence Mann. And then for bench points, it looks like Florida State has 17 points off the bench by Kevin Gelly, Devin Vassell, and Raekwon Gray currently in this game, but they are down by 14. Here we are back to action as Florida State has the ball. They're at the top of the key, spin move inside. They go for the jumper in the key. No good. Hits the rim short. Rebounded by Jack White. So we're back to action here. 10:45 left to go. Duke with the ball into the hands of Trey Jones. He takes it past the timeline. Jones passes it at the free throw circle for Zion. Zion kicks it back outside to Jones. Back to Zion at the free throw circle. Zion trying to take it inside. Spin move in the lane. Kicks it back outside. Jack White passes it over to Trey Jones. Jones at the left wing of the perimeter trying to go inside. Floats up the shot. No good. Missed the layup right there by Trey Jones. Rebounded by Florida State. 10:20 left to go. Seminoles with the ball. Right wing three. And they knock it down from the outside right there. 58-47. Huge three-point shot by Kevin Gelly. He has 11 points tonight for the Seminoles. They needed that one to get themselves back in the game. 11-point lead here by Duke. 58-47. Duke now with the ball. They take it past the timeline. Trey Jones, he passes it right wing of the perimeter here to RJ. RJ passes it off. Left wing of the perimeter to Trey Jones. He almost slips. He does regain possession of the ball. There's a tie-up on the court at the free throw circle between Trey Jones and David Nichols of Florida State. And looks like the refs will say possession arrow goes to Duke. So Duke will get the inbound here momentarily, as they do have an 11-point lead, 58-47. Zach White just checked out of the game for the Duke Blue Devils at this stage. 9:47 left to go when we do get back to action. And Duke does. Zion now with the ball, trying to blow by defenders in the lane, and he gets fouled with 9:44 left to go. I'm going to update you guys here in the chat with the score. If you're new to the channel, feel free to hit that like button down below and the subscribe button as well. So Diane Williamson going back to the free throw line to shoot some more free throws here for Duke. He has 18 points tonight. He's shooting the ball 4 for 6 from the field, and he's played 30 minutes so far in this game, and we've gone through 30 minutes, so he's played the entire game. First shot at the free throw line, it goes down for Zion, 59-47. Single tournament points by a freshman. He's ranked 3rd right now in the ACC tournament. He has 79 points. Jason Tatum ranked 2nd in 2017 with 88 points for Florida State, and Brandon Costner had 90 points back in 2007 in the ACC tournament. Second shot here at the free throw line by Zion. And no good. It just rattled out. It almost had a chance to go back in, but no, it couldn't. 9:40 left to go. Duke's up by 12, 59-47. Florida State with the ball. They have it dribbling towards the left wing of the perimeter, and they put the ball into the hands of MJ Walker. It's almost stolen by Zion, but Florida State has the ball. They dish it back outside, right corner 3. And a huge 3-point shot by Cabangeli of Florida State. 9-point lead by Duke. Cabangeli with 14 points tonight by Florida State. Duke now with the ball. They take it past the timeline. Right wing of the perimeter. Jordan Goldwire passes it off top of the key. Dribbling with it's RJ Barrett. Barrett, jumper at the top of the free throw circle. No good. Rebounded by Florida State. Going to update you guys in the chat here momentarily. Florida State with the ball. They're down by 9. And they passed it at the right corner of the perimeter. Did get tipped out of bounds by Zion with 8:57 left to go. So Florida State will get the ball back on the inbound. Timeout called by Coach K. Going to update you guys with the score. If you're new to my video, feel free to hit that like button down below and the subscribe button as well. Keeping you in the know with college basketball games, play-by-play, and live reactions. This is Behind the Arc Basketball on YouTube. 59-50, timeout call by Coach K. We're going to get back to the game momentarily between Duke and Florida State. Looking at the leaders for points per game right now, Zion leading Duke currently 19 points, 4 rebounds, a block and a steal, and 2 assists to go along with that as well. RJ Barrett, second on the team in scoring behind Zion currently. 15 points he has. He also has 6 rebounds, 4 steals tonight by RJ Barrett. Trey Jones, he has 6 assists tonight, and he has 13 points, double-digit points in today's game so far by Trey Jones. And Cam Reddish currently with 6 points for Duke. So here we are, back to action. Duke and Florida State with a play-by-play. Florida State gets the inbound. They're looking for a man who's open. They set back to offense. Deep left wing 3 from the outside. No good, and it goes out of bounds. So right there, went off the top of the iron, and the ball went to the top of the backboard and hit the baseline. So Florida State missed the 3-point shot. The ball will go back to Duke here with 8:47 left to go. Going to update you guys with a chat here once again. If you're new to the channel, hit that like button down below and the subscribe button as well. We have 8:40 left to go in this game. Duke with a 9-point lead, 59-50. They have the ball at the right wing of the perimeter with RJ Barrett. Barrett now dribbling towards that free throw circle. Passing the ball off to Trey Jones. Top of the key 3, back to Barrett. Barrett, no good, off the iron. Rebounded by Florida State here. The Seminoles with the ball, top of the free throw circle. They're passing around the perimeter at the right wing of that 3-point perimeter with MJ Walker. Puts the ball into the hands of David Nichols. He had 14 points in yesterday's win against Virginia. They're moving the ball around. Right, deep, baseline 2, no good. Rebounded by Duke with 8 minutes left. Yeah, I'd say so. Everybody's been saying it as well. Zion definitely looking like a lock for the #1 overall pick. Doesn't even look close right now. And we'll see if RJ can get to the 2 or if that will be John Morant of Murray State. It all depends on the tournament. We'll see how that goes. Duke now with the ball trying to move around, and Trey Jones lays it up and in. He had 16 points tonight for Trey Jones, or 15 points tonight. 4 rebounds, 6 assists. 61-50, 7.5 left to go. Duke with an 11-point lead. Florida State now with the right wing and the 3-point perimeter. Yeah, I agree. Yep, Barrett definitely has the size compared to Ja. But yeah, Ja's a point guard too. Florida State did get the offensive rebound. They're passing around the perimeter. Right wing three. No good by Florida State. And they tipped it out of bounds on the rebound. So the ball will go back to Duke here with 7:05 left to go. So once again, going to update you guys with a chat. 61-50. Duke with the 11-point lead. This is Behind the Arc Basketball on YouTube. Like my videos, share, subscribe to my channel. The ACC Tournament Finals. The Duke Blue Devils trying to get their 21st ACC Tournament Final here, and they're up by 11 with around 7 minutes left to go. We'll be back shortly here after the TV timeout. This is Behind the Arc Basketball on YouTube. So for Duke, leading the way still is Zion, 19 points he has. RJ Barrett with 16. Trey Jones with 15 currently in this one as well. Going to look at the college basketball scoreboard here. So we have a couple of big games there tomorrow as well for conference tournament titles. The Big Ten tournament title will take place tomorrow. Michigan against Michigan State. That will be the last game that will finish up before Selection Sunday. That could be a big one as well for the selection committee to see who gets another number 1 seed into the tournament. Will it be enough for Gonzaga to still be able to get a 1 seed when they lost to St. Mary's by 13 in their WCC championship game? Or will the committee look to somebody else who has a much stronger strength of schedule, way more quadrant 1 wins, somebody like Michigan State in there who has 11 quadrant 1 wins compared to Gonzaga, who's 4-3 against against top 25 teams this season. So we'll see on Selection Sunday there. But yeah, we've had quite a bit of the conference tournament games so far today. Big East Championship, Villanova, the defending national champs, beating Seton Hall 74-72. Close game throughout for that one. Kansas dropping against Iowa State today in the Big 12 tournament final. Iowa State winning 78-66. Cincinnati moving on to play Houston once again. They met a week ago, as Cincinnati will play Houston in the American Conference Tournament Final tomorrow. Also, the Ivy League Tournament Final will go down tomorrow. That one will be between Harvard and Yale as well. Of course, a big rivalry between both of those schools. And Auburn playing against Tennessee inside the SEC tournament. That will take place at 1 p.m. tomorrow. And I think that's basically it. There might be a couple more tournament games. Yeah, the Sun Belt has their tournament final. Georgia State will be playing in that tournament final for the Sun Belt as they won their semifinal game today. They'll be playing against Texas Arlington in the Sun Belt tournament finals. They beat Georgia Southern today 67-58. So here we are, the ACC Championship. We're going to get back to action real shortly between Duke and Florida State. Currently, we're on a TV timeout. If you're new to the channel, feel free to hit that like button down below, the subscribe button as well. I do play-by-play and live reaction videos to college basketball games, so stay in the know here with Behind the Arc Basketball on YouTube. Selection Sunday tomorrow night. Who you're feeling in the tournament as well, let me know down below. A bunch of tickets have been punched today. Vermont was the first one to win inside the America East. North Carolina Central won the MEAC. Iowa State in the Big 12 beating Kansas. Utah State beat San Diego State in the Mountain West. Prairie View A&M won the SWAC today. Buffalo finished it up in the MAC today against Bowling Green, taking home the MAC title. Here we are back to action. 7 minutes left to play. Duke with a ball up by 11. They have it at the right wing of the 3-point perimeter. Trey Jones has the ball. He passes it off to RJ, top of the key here. And now they float it over the top, up to Zion. And no bucket. It was a shooting foul right before Zion shot the ball. So Florida State just committed their 6th foul of the second half. Duke with 4 fouls as a team so far in the second half. So we have 6:50 left to go. Duke with the 11-point lead, and they'll get the inbound here. 61-50. 6 minutes, 50 seconds left to go in the game. Duke with an inbound underneath the bucket, and it's a turnover underneath the bucket by Trey Jones, who had the ball, and he tried to dribble inside, float up the shot, and he got stripped of the ball, and it went off and out of bounds. So Florida State here with 6:40 left remaining. They get the ball in the inbound. They pass the timeline, and with a burst of speed inside, and there's a foul called, committed by Duke with 6:37. Florida State here will shoot 2 at the free throw line. This is with number 23 for the Seminoles, MJ Walker. Trying to cut into this Duke lead. Walker with only 2 points today, shooting the ball 1 for 5 from the field. First shot at the free throw line by Walker, knocks it down, 10-point game. (61-51). MJ Walker for Florida State, shooting his second shot at the free throw line. And he hits that one as well. 9-point game here. Duke up 61-52. Get the ball back on the inbound. RJ Barrett trying to pass that half-court line before the 10-second roll. He does. He gets the ball off to Trey Jones with 6:25 left to go. Jones passes it right wing of the perimeter to Barrett. Barrett now dribbles towards the free throw circle, feeds the ball underneath the basket to Delorier. He gets the ball blocked out of bounds. And Duke will get the ball back on the inbound. 9 on the shot clock, 6:15 left to go in the game, as they are up by 9 here. Blue Devils looking for somebody who's open. Zion had it inside the low post. He gets a shot denied. Florida State with the ball, trying to go the distance, and a tip-in up and in right there by the Seminoles. Trent Forest tried to take it the distance, couldn't get the shot home, got some little help by his teammate to tip it in. 6 minutes left, 61-54. Florida State down by 7. Duke with the ball, an errant pass, and a steal by Florida State. Seminoles with the ball. Trent Forest at the right wing of the perimeter. He passes it off now, trying to work their way inside the shot, floated inside the low post. Offensive rebound as Cabangeli's shot couldn't go home. Rebounded, though, by his teammate Terrence Mann. Florida State with the ball. They set it up. They're at the right wing of the three-point perimeter, dribbling with the ball. They try to take it inside. Spin move in there by Trent Forest. And there's another foul called with 5:28 left to go. Duke charged with a foul. So Florida State showing a little bit of signs of life here. Trey Jones just picked up his 3rd foul here for Duke. Florida State at the free throw line. They're a perfect 11 for 11 shooting at the charity stripe tonight. First shot at the line, make it 12 for 12. 61-55. The Seminoles have been keeping this game close within the past minute or so. Trent Forest has 8 points, 3 assists, knocks him down. 61-56 right now. This game just got a whole lot closer. Duke with the ball on the inbound. 5:20 left to go. Trey Jones passes the timeline. He passes the ball left wing of the perimeter. Cam Reddish feeds it off to Delorier, top of the key, into the hands of RJ. RJ now trying to dribble inside. Puts up the shot, up and in off the glass by RJ. 63-56. Duke with a 7-point lead with 5 minutes left to go. Hit that like button down below if you're new to the channel. The subscribe button as well. Stay in the know here with Behind the Arc Basketball on YouTube. Florida State with the ball. Left wing of the three-point perimeter. They pass it off to the top of the key. Now they're at the right wing of that three-point perimeter. Florida State hands the ball off into the hands of MJ Walker, trying to take it inside, laying it up, and then he gets it off the glass right there by MJ. 4:40 left to go in this game, 5-point game. Duke with a 63-58 lead. They get the ball in the inbounds. Trey Jones takes it past the left side of the timeline, passes it off to Cam Reddish. Reddish now floats up the shot in the key. No good, but he's fouled with 4:28 left to go. RJ Barrett on the last play tried to float up the shot right there inside the key, and he got fouled on the play. So here we are at the free throw. Cam Reddish was the one who was fouled. So here we are at the free throw line. Cam Reddish shooting 2. Got the first shot, 64-58. Second shot at the free throw line, and he knocks it down as well, 65-58. Duke with a lead. 4:20 left to go. Florida State has the ball. They have it at the top of the key. They try to go burst the speed in there. Hook shot from the right elbow, no good, and Duke gets the rebound. Trey Jones with a rebound there for the Blue Devils. 4:10 left remaining in the game. He takes it past the ACC logo. Passes the ball left wing of the perimeter to RJ. Now top of the key with Delorier. Trying to look for a man who's open. Hands it off to Reddish. Reddish trying to take it inside. And the ball goes out of bounds, but it was last tipped out of bounds by Florida State. So Duke should get the ball back on the inbound here once we get past the TV timeout on the floor. 65-58 as Duke has the lead currently in this one. This is Behind the Arc Basketball on YouTube. Hit that like button, the subscribe button down below if you like as well. I'm going to update you guys with the score. We do have a little bit of a TV timeout here. Duke with a lead. When we do get back to action, we'll have under 4 minutes left to play in this game. So let's look at some of the stats here by both of the teams. Duke is shooting the ball a whole lot better than Florida State right now. Duke's shooting at 48% from the field. Florida State shooting the ball at 33% from the field. From the free throw line, that's where Florida State's made the most of it. They're a perfect 13 for 13 at the charity stripe in this game. Duke is out rebounding Florida State 34-30. In this matchup as well at this point. Florida State was coming in here out-rebounding their past two opponents. They out-rebounded Virginia Tech 43-30. And then yesterday, they out-rebounded Virginia 35-20 in their matchup. The surprise 10-point win against the Virginia Cavaliers in yesterday's action. So we look to the leading scorers here. We have 3 players in double-digit points for Duke, all with above 15 points. Diane Williamson leading the way with 19 points for the Blue Devils. 17 points right behind him is RJ Barrett, and 15 points by Trey Jones. Jones also with 6 assists tonight as well. We look to the Florida State Seminoles. 2 players in double-digit points, as Fiondu Kabengele has 14 points leading the way for Florida State, and then Terrence Mann has 12 points currently for the Seminoles. So we're going to get back to action really shortly. If you haven't done so already, or if you're new to the channel, hit that like button down below and the subscribe button as well. I do play-by-play and live reactions of college basketball games, so stay in the know here with my channel. This is Behind the Arc Basketball on YouTube. So it looks like we're still on that TV timeout currently. Let's see what's going on in the league right now. We have a little bit of a lull with college basketball action, but it looks like Old Dominion will be the next team to punch their ticket into the March Madness tournament. Inside Conference USA, Old Dominion with 36 seconds remaining is winning against Western Kentucky 56-49. So it looks like Old Dominion will go into the March Madness tournament with a 26-8 record overall. And we're at halftime with a game in the Southland tournament final. Abilene Christian is winning against New Orleans 40-39. Grand Canyon University up against New Mexico State 18-14. New Mexico State has a record of 29-4, and they're 15-1 in the Western Athletic Conference. So we're going to get back to action real shortly. Florida State against Duke. Hit that like button down below if you're new to the channel as well. The subscribe button if this is the first time you've seen my videos. Tomorrow, I'll be back with more college basketball action. The SEC tournament final, Auburn against Tennessee, and then the Big Ten tournament final, Michigan State against Michigan Wolverines. Here we are back to action. Duke with the inbound. They pass it off right side of the baseline. Now to the right corner of the perimeter with RJ Barrett with the ball. Puts it into the hands of Trey Jones. Jones now passes it off to Barrett. Barrett now right wing of the perimeter. 1 on the shot clock. Jones forces up the deep 2, and it goes off the backboard, and it looks like a shot clock violation. He didn't get it off on time. Zion got the rebound. Zion did get the rebound, actually. So Trey Jones did force it up in time right before the buzzer. Zion got the rebound, but yeah, he was battling for it for Florida State, and Zion did pick up the foul. So Zion just got charged with his third foul of the game there. So Florida State had a rebound and the ball in their hand for a moment with MJ Walker, who controlled it, and Zion tried to swipe the ball away, and he got charged with a foul there. So that's the 7th foul Duke has committed in this half. So that means that Florida State will go to the free throw line to shoot 1-1 here in the bonus. As the score is 65-58, Duke has the lead. .341 left to go in this game. Florida State at the free throw line to shoot in the bonus. And that's the first shot they've missed today. Rebounded by Duke with .340 left to go. That was a huge miss on the free throw line right there. Florida State went into the game shooting 13 for 13 at that point, and then they just missed their first one. Low post working their way. Zion gets his 4th foul as he was trying to dribble inside the low post. He banked the shot home, but Florida State just took the charge. Everybody in the crowd can't believe it either. Zion with the, looked like an elbow right there. He's working his way inside the low post on Terrence Mann. Yeah, it looked like he lowered his shoulder, put the elbow down, and Mann took the charge right there to draw the offensive foul by Zion. So the ball goes back to Florida State. 3:20 left to go. Trying to go inside underneath the basket. They feed it down inside the low post. They missed the layup by Cabangeli. Rebounded by Duke. 3:10 remaining. Duke with a 65-58 lead. Zion has 79 points total scored in this ACC tournament with 30 rebounds. Duke now with the ball. Right wing of the perimeter to Cam Reddish, and a turnover by the Blue Devils. Javin DeLaurier with the offensive foul. He's in foul trouble as well. He just picked up his 4th. So back-to-back offensive fouls in the past 2 possessions for the Duke Blue Devils. 65-58. We have 2:50 left to go. Florida State now with the ball. Terrence Mann trying to dribble towards that top of the key. He puts the ball into the hands of the point guard, Trent Forest. Top of the key here. 2:38 remaining. Forest now trying to move his way inside. Floats up a shot in the key. No good off the top of the iron. Fight for the rebound. Duke has it as RJ snags that rebound. 2.5 left to go. Duke with the ball with Trey Jones. He takes it past the timeline. 2:20 left in this game. 7-point lead by the Blue Devils. Jones at the top of the key. Backs his way out of it. 2:14 left remaining. 12 on the shot clock. Jones now floats up the shot in the key. Up and in by Trey Jones. What a game for the point guard. Double-digit points. 2 minutes remaining. Trey Jones with 17 points tonight. 6 assists on his game profile as well. Left wing 3. It's an air ball by Florida State. Rebounded by Cam Reddish of Duke. Duke takes it past the timeline with DeLaurier. He puts the ball into the hands of Jones. Trey Jones takes it past the timeline. 1:45 remaining. 67-58. Duke looking like they're ever so closer to getting their 21st ever ACC tournament title. They're 1.5 remaining from doing that. Top of the key with Jones. Trying to go for the exclamation point inside. He kicks the ball back outside. Left wing 3 by Reddish. And knocks it down. It rattles right into the net right there as it rattled around the rim. That might have done it tonight. 7-0 run by Duke in the last 3 minutes and 9 seconds. Timeout call by Florida State. 70-58. Duke up by 12. That 3-point shot by Cam Reddish from the left wing might have just sealed the deal and put the exclamation point on the W tonight for the Duke Blue Devils. Huge, clutch 3-point shot from the outside by Cam. When we go back to action, Florida State will get the inbound with 1:19. If you haven't done so already, hit that like button down below and the subscribe button as well. I call college basketball games doing play-by-play. So stay in the know here with Behind the Arc Basketball on YouTube. Yep, 1:19 remaining in this game, and it looks like Duke will be going home with the ACC title here. That was a huge 3-point shot by Reddish. Let's look at this box score for the leading scorers, as we have 4 Duke Blue Devil players in double-digit points currently in this game. Leading the way, 19 points by Zion tonight, 17 points both by RJ and Trey Jones. Trey Jones isn't your usual scorer, but tonight he's doing it that way. 17 points by Trey, 6 assists as well. Javin DeLaurier, the only player in the starting lineup with non-double-digit points. But those 4 players right there are all top 20 NBA draft picks most likely. Williamson, Barrett, Reddish, and Jones. Every single one of them has either 11 points or more tonight. Yeah, I was driving to my girlfriend's house today, listening to the Sports Hub in Boston, and one of the radio hosts was saying that after he saw Zion play last night, he was like, "Yeah, I need to be taking them in the bracket after seeing what Zion did last night to UNC, and then the past night against Syracuse. A lot of people will most likely pick Duke. Whole new team when Zion came back. You can see the energy on the court. The past 3 days, it's been apparent. Florida State with the ball. It's crunch time here. 1 minute and 5 remaining. Florida State missed the shot. Rebounded by Duke. 1 minute left to go. They're up by 12. Florida State not following yet, and they do with 57.7 seconds. I'm going to update you guys here with a chat again. We're under 1 minute left to play. Duke will shoot in the bonus at the free throw line. They have a 12-point lead in the ACC title game. We have 57.7 seconds left to go, and it looks like the Duke Blue Devils will be crowned champs of this one. If you haven't liked the video already, feel free to hit that like button and the subscribe button down below that goes along with that. At the free throw line here is the number 1 projected NBA draft pick, Diane Williamson. And he knocks down that one, 71-58. Zion with 20 points tonight. He had 29 points against Syracuse on Thursday. Followed it up yesterday in the semifinal against UNC with 31. Tonight he has 20. He's back at the free throw line, seeing if he can make this 21. And he does. There you have it, 21-point night for Zion, currently 72-58, 14-point lead. Florida State with around 50 seconds left to go. They have the ball at the top of the key, 9-0 run by Duke in the last 3 minutes, 50 seconds, and we have a foul call by Duke with 45.6 seconds. The tournament's almost here, boys. Almost here. Cannot wait for March Madness. Selection Sunday tomorrow. We'll see who gets into the bracket as bubble teams, who gets left out of the bracket. There's some teams in there that's on the edge of the bracket. North Carolina State, TCU, Oklahoma, all those teams are bubble teams. Alabama. Will it be enough for Belmont to get in, losing in the OVC final to Murray State, even when they have, I think, 6 losses on their resume? Both of the shots at the free throw line went down by Florida State, 72-60. And another foul called with 42.9 seconds left. I'm thinking about it. I might do the selection show tomorrow. I'll see. I'm going to do both of those games, the SEC game with Tennessee and Auburn, and then Michigan against Michigan State. But, yeah, that would be pretty cool if I did do the selection show. I haven't thought about that just yet, but, yeah, I might want to. Yeah, that would be pretty cool. Be interesting to do that. Some of the teams I have, like, no clue about. Like, some of those teams I have no clue, like the mid-majors. But, yeah, if I focus on, like, all the big schools, that would be pretty cool. 73-60. Duke hit 1 out of 2 shots at the free throw line, and Florida State with the ball at the right wing of the perimeter, and looks like a turnover by turnover by the Seminoles with 34.8 seconds left. So I'm gonna update you guys once again with a score. Looks like this one's basically done. Looks like we're around 30 seconds away from crowning our ACC champ. 73-60, Florida State not even bothering to foul. If you're new to the channel, hit the like button down below, the subscribe button as well. I'll be back tomorrow. SEC tournament final, Tennessee against Auburn. And then the Big Ten tournament final, Michigan against Michigan State. Might even throw a couple of Selection Sunday. Might do a stream of that tomorrow. As, yeah, this one with 4.5 seconds remaining is basically about to be done. As that was a shot clock violation. Duke just wanted to run down the clock right there, put the ball into the hands of Florida State. They just shoot up a three-pointer, and they hit that three-point shot. Just a desperation three, 73-63. So, and that's it. Clock hits 00. So there we have it. The ACC tournament champions, the Duke Blue Devils, have won the ACC tournament 73-63 over Florida State. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me here with the action. I appreciate it. Great job, everybody in the chat. You guys are awesome, everybody here on the channel. Gonna update the box score to let you guys know who was the leading scorers of this game. Diane Williamson led the way, 21 points. Just an incredible ACC tournament by Zion all around. 29 points against Syracuse. He played 36 minutes on Thursday. Followed it up yesterday with 31 points against North Carolina. He gets 21 points tonight. Second on the team in scoring was Trey Jones, who's usually not the leading scorer for Duke, but he scored 1 point higher than RJ tonight. 18 points by Trey Jones, 17 points by RJ Barrett, and 11 points by Cam Reddish. There you have it, the ACC tournament champs, the Duke Blue Devils. And that basically concludes tonight's game. Duke coming out victorious with a 10-point victory. Thank you so much for joining me. Before you leave the video, feel free to hit that like button, the subscribe button down below if you're new to the channel as well. I'll be back tomorrow for 2 more conference tournament finals, the SEC tournament title game and the Big Ten tournament title game as well. Might throw in a little bit of Selection Sunday there into a stream, as I'm thinking about doing that possibly tomorrow around 6 p.m. or so when the Selection Sunday selection show goes on. But yeah, that's basically it for tonight. Thank you so much, everybody. And that's been it. ACC champs, the Duke Blue Devils, by a 10-point victory margin to the Florida State Seminoles. This has been another presentation of Behind the Arc Basketball on YouTube. Thank you so much, everybody, and have a nice night.